tactics, because all three captains decided to bat first the last time.
I think it's a fresh pitch, so we feel that it might stop a bit. Looking at the other wicket, I think after the first game, the next three games are played very well. So today, it's a fresh wicket. So hopefully, if our bowlers can, put up a good show and restrict them to as low as possible, to chase the score.
You had a near-perfect game against Singapore. In Singapore, you would love to repeat that?
Any given day. But having said that, it's a fresh game. Everybody has to start all over again. I think the game's gone already. It's new.
The Zimbabwe captain in just a short while, but action just about to get underway here as Nepal are going to be bowling against Zimbabwe. Remember, Zimbabweans won that first match on Friday evening. And we've got some team news as well for us, Tino.
Absolutely. 4 changes for Zimbabwe, 1 forced through injury. Timson Maruma suffering from a strained quad after his debut. So Peter Moore comes in to replace him. Ngarava, after his debut game the other evening, will go out, replaced by Tendai Chitara. And then a debut man, Daniel Jekyll, to replace Wellington Masakadza. Be looking forward to see him with the new ball. And then the young man getting his T20 international debut as well, William Mashinge, to replace Neville Mdziva. Nepal changes. Ishan Pandey, the left-hand opener who struggled so far in the series, will be replaced by Pawan Saraf. So here we go. Ball 1.
Remind you, of course, for those of you who have been following us over the last few days, welcome back. Good to have you rejoin us. And for those of you who've just come in today, a very warm welcome here to the Singapore Indian Association ground in Singapore. Sandeep Lamichhane getting us off. Tell us a little bit about these two batsmen.
Brian Cherry, explosive. For those of you who managed to see him in the first game against Nepal, raced along to 18. Big appeal, that won't be given out. Oh, it is! It looked to me like that was way outside the off stump. The umpire doesn't think so.
Along to 18.
And he's given Brian Cherry out here. Disappointed is he, but another early breakthrough for Sandeep Lamichhane against the Zimbabweans. Brian Cherry goes for naught, Zimbabwe naught for 1. PJ Moore, new man in. He replaces Brian Cherry, who was a judged LBW to Sandeep Lamichhane the last delivery. It looked outside off stump to me. It looks like he got an inside edge as well.
Great start for Lamichhane, regardless. Let's get your thoughts on that decision.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was definitely outside the off stump and like he got an inside edge. Certainly was disappointed, Brian Cherry.
Lamichhane is bowling a lot better in this series than he was a couple months ago. 1 for 1 after the first over. There's the batting lineup for Zimbabwe today. As mentioned already, 4 changes for the Zimbabwe team after that stunning loss against Singapore on Sunday, which has really caught the imagination around the cricket world. Massive achievement, of course. First time they've ever beaten a full member at outdoor level. Has been done at indoor level, which I'm sure we'll chat about later. But at the moment, Zimbabwe in a little bit of early trouble here. Sushambari at the other end, club end.
Bang! He plays the spin as well, PJ Moore. He likes to take them on over the top. And for a man who has faced one delivery in the whole series, that oozes confidence.
Well, there's a little message, isn't it? For a man who's not really played very much.
Oh, that's a great shot, isn't it? He's gone across the line, but he's got absolutely all of that delivery.
So
PJ
clean.
Moore, absolutely. Well, he's certainly letting the bowlers know his frame of mind early. 38-6 in the tournament. 38-6 in the tournament.
You covered the first game as well, didn't you, Tino, between Zimbabwe and Nepal? And I think you weren't, you were a little concerned with the way that Nepal approached that game.
पछाडि लुकिरहेको छ कि हान्न त्यहाँ
Down the ground this time for 1.
It's been a good over so far for Zimbabwe after that early wicket of Brian Chari. Nice little comeback here in the second over.
Just a single then to end the over. A good one for Zimbabwe. 15 from it. 16 for 1.
A mixed start for Zimbabwe. Two very different overs we've had so far, Tino. Has provided us entertainment all round.
Absolutely. Early breakthrough, which is what Paras Katka would have wanted. But a really good innings. Sorry, really good over. Second one for Zimbabwe. 15 runs from it. And it's going to be Karen Casey. Flick down the leg side. That's unfortunate for the keeper. Awkward bounce just in front of him. Leg by signalled.
You're a little bit surprised they've already made that change? That bowling change?
I wouldn't say surprised. I think Paras Katka wanted an early wicket. He got that from Sandeep Lamichhane. I think he's also just seen PJ Moore getting after the spinners, striking the ball well. Haven't seen much turn from Lamichhane like we did early when he bowled in the last game. So he's probably thought, maybe let me just try and pull back the reins, hold him back for later on in the innings. Or maybe he might take him to the end where the second over was bowled.
Chakava comes out. He means business. Probably seen what his partner's doing at the other end. Doesn't get anything for it. A little bit of improvisation doesn't quite work out for him.
Looks like KC Curran picked that up because he's just rolled the fingers over that slower ball. And that's probably what got the ball to just bounce over the stumps. Had it been the regular delivery, possibly wouldn't have bounced so high and gone over that leg stump. Played the shot a couple of times the other night, Regis Chakava. When he gets it right, gets value for his shots.
It's been a couple of balls down leg side already. It's painful, isn't it, for any pace bowler out there when you can see 5 wides. It's the first time this series Zimbabwe are batting first, and so what are they aiming for? Have you talked to the boys over the last few days? How's that mindset?
Well, obviously disappointed bunch after the performance the other evening. If you look at the first game against Nepal as well, it took a massive partnership at the end between Pearl and Mtumbami to get them across the line. So Sean Williams has made his intentions pretty clear in the last couple of games that he was happy to chase. He wanted to bowl first in both of those first 2 encounters for Zimbabwe. But they'll be looking to get a big score on the board. They would have seen the other night when Nepal chased 150 in just 16 overs against Singapore. Paras Katka, that wonderful 106 in just 52 balls. And they would have seen how they were going the other night until they threw it away. So they know they'll need a very decent total on the board. 181 the other night, but that was only in 18 overs, not in 20. So I'm pretty sure they've said to themselves, listen here guys, batting first, new surface, we need to make sure we can get ourselves 190 plus here.
By the way, just getting news that Binod Pandare, the Nepal keeper, has got a slight hamstring strain, so he's not moving particularly well. Just keep an eye out for him on this final ball.
Nearly snuck in there. He's very lucky, Regis Chakava, to get bat onto that and get it past the man at 45 for 4. So ends off well the over. Another good one for Zimbabwe. 3 gone, 29 for 1.
Nepal captain Paras Katka obviously feeling this is the way to go right now. No, it wasn't so good that last over, was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Paras Katka has decided to take the spinners off after that devastating second over at PJ Moore. Took to the spinners, 15 off it after just one run in the first over, bowled by Sandeep Lamichhane.
Sompal coming up now. What did you make of the wicket today?
It definitely looks a lot drier than what we've had in the first game. That's because obviously we've had 3 games in a row, and that was on the pitch next to that, number 2. This is number 1, and it just looks like a batting surface. Again, no grass.
Quick single, nicely done. Yeah, Tino got a chance to go look at the pitch beforehand, like he always does before every match. Does a little inspection for us.
Yeah, very similar to what we had the other day. Those cracks show you just how dry the surface is, and no grass. And it just looks to me like we're not going to get too much turn from this either. It looks a real good batting surface, but we know that teams like to bat second here and chase, like what's happened in the last couple of games.
An appeal in that last delivery, not given. Sompal's ball so far. Decent line of length. Nothing that's causing the batsman too much trouble, but right, you want to keep that run. It's gone for the big swipe, and he pays the price there. Chakava heads back, and they've got their second wicket.
I don't know if he has to go across the line here. Mid-on and mid-off are both in the circle. All you need to do is get good bat on it, and it's going over those guys with a minimum of fuss. Yes, go over the top, but not across the line. That'll be disappointing for the Zimbabwean change room, the manner in which that Richard Chakava has gone. 3.4 overs in Zimbabwe now, 30 for 2.
Zimbabwe captain Sean Williams is in. Hello, welcome to the match. Of that last dismissal. Across the line from Takava.
He'll be disappointed. Looked good in the last game. Regis Chakava, and the change from spin in the first couple of overs to spin in the next couple has worked for Paras Katka. It's another wicket from Sompal. And a really good second over from him. 1 run from it, 1 wicket, that of Regis Chakava. Zimbabwe now 30 for 2.
been a mixed bag here at the Singapore Indian Association in these first 4 overs. A couple of 2 very good overs for each side. 30 for 2 we are. Here's Lamichhane. Oh, he's made that appeal. It's a pretty strong one. Did that seem like a stronger appeal than the previous one?
That certainly looked more out to me than the one of Brian Chari, but it has turned into the batsman slightly. And the umpire possibly just thinking that that's going to be going past the leg stump. If that ball is pitched up.
He's gone for it again. Not quite got the connection. In fact, that last 6 he got was the least cleanly hit one of the 3 boundaries that he's scored so far. He's going for his shots.
He is indeed. And like I said, Zimbabwe would have seen that all 3 teams winning here. Have seen that in the second part of the game. It's very, very difficult to defend scores here. PJ Moore wasn't in the Zimbabwean side that toured Bangladesh prior to this. You know, he's got a point to prove.
Nice ball there from Lamichhane, and Sean Williams. First taste of that. I think this is going to turn into a rather interesting match.
Nicely played by Sean Williams. The key for me is the manner in which they play this man, Lamichhane. Paras brought him on to open the bowling in the last game because he needed early wickets, got those early wickets and pegged Zimbabwe back 28 for 4 at one stage. After having a whirlwind start, I think 12 they got in the first over. Brian Chari was looking good. But the manner in which Zimbabwe play this guy is what's going to be important. Singapore made sure he didn't get wickets. Bowled him. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's the googly. And he's brought him forward, PJ Moore. Gap between bat and pad. And that's all he needed, Sandeep Lamichhane. We're talking about it's important about how Zimbabwe play him. This time he's gone for the forward defensive PJ Moore. And the ball sneaking through that gap. 5 overs gone. Zimbabwe 38 for 3.
Commentary with Am and Navneet Krishna.
Thank you, Shazad. Great delivery from Sandeep Lamichhane to get rid of the dangerous PJ Moore. It's been brilliant tonight. Got the opening wicket, has come back, got rid of the danger man. Zimbabwe 38 for 3 after 5. And good to have Nav in the studio as well, joining me. Good evening, Nav.
Very good evening, Adrian. You probably have to say that it's Nepal that have drawn first blood here in the first 5 overs, 38 for 3. Fantastic strike there from Sean Williams, and he's well on his way. A good-looking cover drive, final over before the power play comes to an end, and he's taking full advantage with an offer, and he was happy to find the gap on the offside through covers, races away.
Has a big job to do tonight, does Sean Williams. Has to lead from the front. Rebuild. Needs a partnership here, Zimbabwe. It's been a terrific start by Nepal, though. I mean, we saw how good they were with the ball the last time these two sides played and how effective Sandeep Lamichhane was. And he's proving once more how dangerous he is with the ball.
Yeah, it was possibly the best bowler we've seen in all of the Singapore Tri-Nations from Sandeep Lamichhane to get rid of Peter Moore there. You're watching a genius at work, ladies and gentlemen. Sandeep Lamichhane finding the gap between bat and pad, clipping the bails, Sheer artistry this from Sandeep Lamichhane. What a talent.
Sheer
artistry. And that certainly has pegged Zimbabwe on the back foot. Driven to covers once again, this time finds the fielder. The onus on the captain, Sean, again, Adrian.
Yeah, we see that he has quite the responsibility tonight, as he did the previous night. Needs a partnership here with Mutumbodzi. His captain needs him out there in the middle. Stick around. We've seen some great partnerships in this Tri-Nation series so far, and he needs one here.
Nah, that's too cheeky from Sean. You don't want to be running for that. That certainly would have been curtains and wicket number 4. Mutumbodzi doing the right thing by telling the captain, hang in there, buddy. Very disciplined effort from Sompal Kami this evening into a second over. He got the wicket of Regis Chakabwa on what was a very unnecessary shot in the context of the situation. And he's kept his line, his length. Worked well for him so far.
Been brilliant. Set him up perfectly. But it was a nothing shot from Chakabwa. Big appeal. Nothing given.
An optimistic appeal, you'd probably have to say. That was certainly drifting down the leg side. Take another look at this. Actually, on second thoughts, possibly a little closer than I thought it was.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Looks, at first glance, it didn't look that it was going to crash in, but I guess with ball tracking and other technologies, maybe a better insight into that delivery as Sompal Kami comes in for the last ball of his over.
Sean Williams happy to tuck away the last ball of the power play just for a single, and it comes to the end of 6 overs with Zimbabwe 43 for 3.
Back live once more. Zimbabwe 43 for 3 after 6 overs. End of the power play as Avinash Bahara comes into the attack.
You want to be careful when you're playing Avinash Bora. Obviously slingy action. He's a lot faster than you think he is. Very nippy off the pitch. And watch out for those toe crushers because he loves bowling those Yorkers.
There's been some assistance for the pace bowlers tonight. I mean, we haven't seen much of it this series. They're really getting some assistance off the pitch. Not as much as magician Sandeep Lamichhane.
It's been the Lamichhane factor once again, Adrian. It was the Lamichhane factor 4 nights ago on opening day here in Singapore, and he was all over the Zimbabweans. And guess what? It looks like it's a repeat in the little that we've seen so far. 2 fantastic wickets. One, you'd probably have to say, could have gone either way, the first one. But the second one, an absolute peach to get rid of more.
What a great story Sandeep Lamichhane is. Plays his cricket all over the world, with the Melbourne Stars in Australia, the Delhi Capitals in the IPL. Now he's here representing his country, the Tri-Nations tournament here in Singapore.
Yeah. Not to forget the Barbados Tridents very recently in the Caribbean Premier League. Very, very big figure in the Everest Premier League back in Nepal as well. So the man loves his T20 cricket. Plenty of action that we've seen in the little over 6 overs that we've seen today. Plenty of action on Twitter as well. Good to see. Engagement on the social media handles as well, as Sean Williams drives one comfortably down the ground. As always, happy to take questions from folks around the world tuning in. Happy to read out some of the best tweets as well. So you want to be doing hashtag Singapore Tri-Nation and hashtag Nepal versus Zimbabwe, NEP versus VSZIM. Leave your tweets, questions, comments, and we'd love to read them out. It's been an entertaining evening so far here in Singapore. Very difficult to read this pitch, like Paras mentioned at the toss.
It's a completely different pitch to what we saw the other night. Big scores. Then again, we've just come to the end of the power play. They need a partnership, build an innings. Sean Williams, the captain, brilliant last night. But was the case, he just ran out of partners.
Drifting down the left side there, picked away onto the deep square leg boundary easily by Mutambotsi, just a single though. 7 overs completed, 47 for 3. We've already seen a few tweets coming in about Avinash Bora. We know he's a talented bowler. Bikash Thapa says, Avinash has been doing great work at the death. Still feel he's not utilized well enough by the captain. I hope to see him completing his 4 overs. And we're getting a few comments, similar comments from quite a few folks. And probably rightly so, because Avinash has been economical in the little that we've seen so far of him. But he hasn't completed his quota. Interesting to see if Paras actually goes through with Avinash for the 4 overs today.
Yeah, it will be. But we've talked a lot about Sandeep Lamachane. But how about Sompal Kami? How good has he been tonight? Picking up that crucial wicket. Economical. Only conceded 6 runs from his 2 overs so far. He's getting that line and length on point tonight as well. Been brilliant.
Sompal Kami has got to do that all over again. It is a little bit humid, certainly is a little humid today, but good conditions for a game of cricket.
Yeah, I was just outside a little while earlier. Quite pleasant. Too high. Ambitious appeal by Sompal Kami.
It almost felt like that was the action replay of the Regis Chakabwa delivery. You don't want to be playing cross the line. Sompal Kami is quite nippy off the pitch, so it comes in a lot faster. The batsman beaten for pace. They're playing down the wrong line as well.
I think Mutambotsi just getting a bit frustrated with himself. Not able to get to the other end and give his captain strike, but you're right, we don't want to see a repeat of what happened to Chakabva. Zimbabwe are in trouble, and they don't want to make things worse.
Very disciplined effort by the Nepali bowlers today. Sean for a second probably thought that was rolling onto his stumps. But you're coming back to the Nepali bowlers. Sompal Kami, Sandeep Lamachane, Avinash Bora. They've all been very disciplined, not giving too many extras away. The fielding's been on par as well. All in all, a very good team effort by the Nepali players today.
And the captain hasn't brought himself onto bowl either, so we still have to wait for that. We've seen what he can do with the bat the other night. Explosive innings.
We haven't seen Karan Casey as well.
We haven't seen Karan Casey as well, but they just have so many options.
And as a result of the loss of the early wickets for Zimbabwe, captain Sean Williams will have to lead the rebuilding phase here. And it hasn't been easy. Runs have been hard to come by. We're into the 8th over. A touch under 50 the score at the moment, 49 for 3. So obviously a little from how the other games have gone about. We've been seeing runs. In fact, the last game we saw over 10 runs being scored for 36 overs.
Also the first time Zimbabwe are batting first in this tournament. Big appeal. As we take another look at this delivery by Sompal Kami. Economical.
Looks like we have some time for some fairly quiet today, unlike 2 nights ago where it was raining sixes and boundaries all along. Very nicely clipped off his patch, just a single though.
Eight overs done. Zimbabwe 50 for 3.
Well, Dipendra Thapa says, recognizing the batting performance of Nepal in the last match, especially from Captain Paras, Nepal needs a round of about 180 for a competitive match today. I'm not too sure what he means by that. Is he trying to say that Zimbabwe will have to score that much? A big heave to deep square leg, just a single though. Karan Casey, oh, he had bowled 1 over. This is into his 2nd over, in fact.
Things have just slowed down quite a bit since that wicket of PJ Moore. The way he was batting out there, those huge sixes, it's been a lot harder now for these two out in the middle. Rather cautious approach. The Nepalese bowlers finding their lines.
Good looking cover drive that from the captain Sean Williams, aesthetically very pleasing to the eye. There's always something about left-handed batsmen, Adrian. We all know that. And Sean is one on that list, right?
He is. He's a great batsman to watch. I mean, some of the ones that come straight into mind from watching loads of cricket. Shikhar Dhawan, brilliant, explosive batsman. Rishabh Pant, for example. There is David Warner. There's just something about a left-hander and a cover drive. As he nudges that for a single. Gets Mutumbodzi back on strike. He's found it hard here, Mutumbodzi, today. 4 off 8. Quite frustrated with himself. We've seen a few attempts at the big heaves. He's got nothing to show for it so far. Nice looking shot. We'll go for 4. Mutumbodzi here. Just a flick. 4 more to the total. Keeps the scoreboard ticking. Zimbabwe needed that. Singles just weren't cutting it for them. Nepal have been economical. But this might just be the opening.
Shot and pulls it away. Much needed boundary for Zimbabwe. Fantastic pull shot from Tino Mutumbotsi. It was short, it was quick, and Mutumbotsi was up to the mark. Good looking pull shot, one bounce to the right of the deep square leg fielder, and he gets himself 4 runs.
Back-to-back boundaries from Mutumbotsi. I'd say this could be their opening. I mean, just runs are coming along quite nicely here. The right-hander wants to finish well here.
Decent finish for Karan Casey, and we come to the end of 9 overs with Zimbabwe 62 for 3.
Back live now, as we see another bowling change. Pawan Saraf coming to bowl a little bit of spin.
His first game in the Singapore Tri-Nations T20I is playing in place of Ishan Pandey, the left-handed opening batsman. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes about his business, Pawan Saraf. The tactic probably is to spin it away from the left-handed Sean Williams, entice him to play against the spin.
Brilliant cover drive there by Sean Williams. That's what we're talking. There is something about a left-hander and a cover drive. It's just never gets old. So aesthetically pleasing to watch Sean bat. He can do what he did the other night and just stick around for a bit longer. Never know. Singapore could end up with a big total tonight. I mean, Zimbabwe.
Down the track comes Sean Williams. And he's happy with that one. Is that the first 6? Yes, the first 6 for Sean Williams. We saw a couple of mighty ones from Peter Moore earlier on. Dancing down the track. And a nice little heave over long gone. 6 handsome runs.
Great strike from the captain. He's starting to get a move along here is Sean Williams. Goes to 20 off 19. Well supported by Mutumbotsi at the other end.
Tino was mentioning this in the previous game. You don't often see Sean stay out of form for a long time. He didn't have the best outing in Bangladesh. He missed out on his first opportunity here in Singapore as well. And he came back in typical Sean Williams fashion in the last game.
And it was that man again, Sandeep Lamachane, who got him in that first game for a duck. So nothing shot really by the captain, but you know, he's taken a lot more responsibility now, building an innings, trying to be more cautious. He goes again.
Just a single though on this occasion. Didn't quite make the contact that he did on that occasion when he hit that 6. Just a single. Glad that it didn't go down the throat of long on.
Looked like it was going straight down the ground for another 6 just for a moment. It's good to see conditions being rather nice and pleasant today, unlike the other day when we had to wait a little bit. But great conditions for cricket once again on a Tuesday evening here in Singapore at the Indian Association ground. Fans have turned out.
going to be interesting to see what Zimbabwe end up with. We saw 180 being scored in the previous game, and that almost wasn't enough. Seems to be a different story today. Probably around the 150 mark, yeah?
And that was 180 in just 18 overs. So a lot more to come here, particularly from these two out in the middle. End of the 10th over, Zimbabwe 72 for 3.
Watching game number 4 of the Singapore Tri-Nations T20I, brought to you by Instarem. You can catch live action on multiple platforms, vcsports.com. You also have the option of Willow HD TV, the Singapore Cricket Association handle on Facebook, and the fan code app as well by Dream11. For the very first time, a change in the commentary box. I'm going to have Chamal De Silva from Sri Lanka. Pleasure having you here, Chamal.
Thank you, Navneet. It's turning out to be a very good game. That man, Sandeep Lamshane, back into the attack. He's bowled 2 previous overs and given away just 9 runs. Picked up 2 crucial wickets. Let's see how he goes in the back 10. Flicked away back with a square, just for a single.
It's the Sandeep Lamshane factor every single time, and I was mentioning this to Adrian a while back. He played a crucial role in that first game in helping Nepal restrict Zimbabwe. But that was, unfortunately, that effort went in vain as Zimbabwe ended up winning. And you saw some ordinary shots being played against him today as well. But that one against Peter Moore was one pitch of a delivery.
Yes, he really set up PJ Moore there. His bowling, I feel, at the correct trajectory and correct pace, maybe in the mid-90s. And we're using the Kookaburra regulation here. That's going to give a bit of purchase. Magnificent shot. Reverse swept it. Sean Williams has come out and he's showing that mindset and attitude. He's batting with a man like looks like he's got a point to prove.
Well, fantastic. That you obviously, you don't want to be too adventurous against Sandeep Lamshane, but Sean Williams' belief and confidence that he has in his own skill, he's happy playing the reverse sweep to someone like a Lamshane. And this time, just tucks it away on the leg side to mid-wicket for a single though. This is a good solid innings by Sean Williams. They needed that in the context of the situation. Very, very important 26 this from the captain.
Sean Williams is a class player, very experienced cricketer. And he's playing this game wonderfully. He's assessing the situation and he knows the importance of retaining his wicket. At the same time, the scoreboard needs to tick along. So he's playing the conditions beautifully here.
And Mutumbotsi has been an able partner thus far, 15 or 15. That's okay for the moment, considering that they still have a little over 9 overs left. They can go and shift gears a little later on, but it's important to have wickets in hand at the moment.
Absolutely. The way to go about it on this wicket and in this ground is to have wickets in hand and then load it up in the back 6.
And more importantly, don't give wickets to Sandeep.
Yes, and at the same time, you need to take him on as well. And that's what Sean Williams is doing here. He's giving a very good account.
Drifting on the leg side, and Sean Williams says, thank you. We saw plenty of sixes hit down the ground. For the first time, behind the wicket, it goes over short fine leg for 6, number 2 for Sean Williams. And he's finally getting a move on. And Zimbabwe are slowly climbing up their run rate.
That was a very interesting delivery. Lamshane was bowling the googly, but he pitched it well outside leg stump. Was trying to catch Sean Williams at the top edge. But class batsman Sean Williams controlled the shot beautifully for 6.
A comeback that only Sandeep can pull off. Good comeback to the end of the over. An expensive one for Sandeep Lamshane. 13 of the over, 11 overs completed, 85 for 3. Right, back for the 12th over here, 85 for 3. And Chamal, you've obviously been spending a lot of time with the Singapore team, very closely associated to the association here. Talk to us a little bit about this tournament and what it means to Singapore cricket in itself.
I think, first of all, it's been a wonderful opportunity for our cricketers to step up and play to heavyweights, test playing nation, Zimbabwe. It was an honor to take the park with them.
And defeating them was an even bigger achievement.
Karan Casey here, continuing proceedings from the Balestier Road end. It's a good delivery. Yes, look, the results take care of themselves. We are very happy with the processors. Singapore Cricket Association, President Mahmood Ghaznavi and his ex-co, our Director of Coaching, Saad Khan Janjua, who's also our CEO, to organize such a tournament, to bring these teams down, and that gives us the opportunity to win matches.
And that was one of the objectives of having this tournament, is also because Singapore are very soon going to be taking the flight for the T20 qualifiers, and this is the perfect opportunity to try out all the combinations with the ball, with the bat.
Spot on enough. I think the whole idea, we are very clear what we want to extract out of this experience. The results, whether we win, lose, we don't get too excited about it, but we are in preparation mode for the global qualifiers.